What does it take to become a Scrum Master? I am going to look at three different phases or three different steps in today's video. And this is going to give you the clarity you need to know if you're missing something, if you are already certified and in the job market. And for those who are still thinking about pursuing a career in Scrum, this will also give you an in-depth knowledge on what you need in order to start and finish well. Because the biggest challenge of many people who are in the field of Scrum or who are pursuing a job as a Scrum Master is that they're missing a lot, and most of this stuff take them by surprise. So because of that, it's kind of very difficult for them to push through. Now, let's start with the first step for anyone who is in the Scrum job market or anyone looking forward to pick up a career. Let's look at the prerequisite. I know you were expecting me to say that the first thing is for you to do certification. Okay. Certification is very important. But the first step for you to become a Scrum Master is to understand that Scrum is not a job. Scrum is a leadership role, which means that Scrum is not a job like, let's say that accounting, or let's say that nursing, or let's say that engineering, which you have to follow some very strict rules, or you have to learn a couple of stuff that you can easily apply all the time. Scrum is about leadership. And leadership simply means that you understand a concept and then you know how to apply it in a way that meets certain situations and certain contexts. So Scrum gives you a concept, and you take the concept and you become a master of that concept. You become the teacher of that concept. That's the first thing you need to know. Scrum is about leadership. So the first thing a lot of people make a mistake is that they're thinking, I need to get certified and learn a couple of tools and then become a Scrum Master. And then they find it very hard to go through the job interview because they cannot answer leadership questions. But it's not difficult. You can do this. The reason I'm doing this video is to give you the right way of thinking and the right way to approach the job market and the right way to think. If you want to get in, you understand exactly what you need to learn. One of the reasons why Scrum, it's not difficult. All right. Why is it not difficult? You require only 16 hours of study credit to become a certified Scrum Master. That's right. Some people might say, oh, I'm teaching a Scrum class for 1 month, for 2 months. That doesn't matter. It's 16 hours recommended by all the bodies. That's why you can have a Scrum class for 2 days, you're certified. You can have a Scrum class for 1 week, but then 16 hours, you're certified. So the first step for you to become a Scrum Master is to have that knowledge that it's about leadership, which means that it's not about you attending a course and getting a certification. That is very important. But the concept a lot of people miss in here is that they want to go to any kind of certification class and they read slide to them, and then they come out and they are confused as they've never been to any Scrum class. All right. Now, we do run Scrum classes every month. We completed a session yesterday. And almost everyone who was in the session, which we started yesterday, after we completed the 16-hour study, they were able to pass their certification, which is the first step. Right. This is just to tell you that, okay, passing the certification is not a big deal. Now, the big D about Scrum It's about the practice. But let me focus a bit on the certification. If you are hoping to start a Scrum Master job, which certification, a Scrum Master journey, which certification should you get? My number one recommendation for everybody is to get the Safe Scrum Master certification. That is the master certification. With all due respect to PSM and CSM, they are good. But the advantage Safe have over CSM and PSM is that it teaches you what you learn at the PSM level, and it goes ahead and also teaches you how you can participate as a Scrum Master at a program level and an enterprise level, and teaches you a bit of complexity on how to collaborate with multiple teams. And it also laid down a very clear path of growth, which you can leverage after the first phase, from Scrum Master to Release Train Engineer to Safe Program Consultant to Safe Program Consultant Trainer. It has a very clean and clear career path that you can easily grow in. The advantage that I also recommend Safe Scrum Master. So if you're CSM and PSM certified and you don't have a Safe Scrum Master certification, you're already missing out about 50% of chances of getting a job. And also, just to emphasize that PSM and CSM are the same thing. So if you go pursue a CSM and then go pursue a CSM, you're just replicating knowledge. If you have PSM, add Safe there. But you don't necessarily need to have PSM or CSM before you go and do Safe. All right. And that's the reason why for all my students, I teach them Safe certification, because that's the baseline. When they understand Safe certification, they can go self-learn and do PSM, because we already taught them that, right? So in terms of certification, I recommend Safe certification. All right, that's the first phase. Understand that leadership. Secondly, go get a certification. I recommend you get a Safe certification. It's going to give you a whole bigger advantage in the job market. If you're in the job market and looking for a job and you're not Safe certified, you need to be Safe certified. Our next Safe Scrum Master session is starting, I think, March 17, right? If you want to be in a session where you get what they're teaching, we do ensure that everyone understand. We don't just read slide. We bring the practicality to you, which is why our classes are one of the most recommended classes that you will find out there, right? We don't definitely do a lot of advert out there because we already have a lot of in-house referrals. And one of the things that we do is that we try as much as possible to keep the sizes of our classes reasonable so that people can engage and they can be able to understand exactly what we are putting out. Step number one. All right. Step number two, you start practicing. Just imagine you go to school, you have a degree as a medical doctor or as a pharmacist just by reading the theory. You've never taken community practice. What is going to happen? You're going to be a disaster in the market. If you have just been to a class and you have not found yourself a community where you can practice and understand what it means to facilitate a daily stand-up, what it means to be able to break down a feature into a story, what it means to close a sprint, what it means when we're talking about spillover, not in theory, by you actually being part of a project, learning how this works, then you still have a lot to learn. And that is why I have a lot of people who have struggled to secure a job just by understanding the theory. And when they go into their first day at work, most of them lost it. Trust me. And many companies are laying off a lot of people because they don't even understand how to schedule a meeting. They don't even understand how they can help a team link up a story and tag their dependency or tag a story into a release. So you realize that you have so much knowledge, you can talk about Scrum from today to tomorrow, but then in terms of practice, you are zero. which is the second phase many people are missing. And we do incorporate that in our training program by creating a space where you can learn. Now, for those who practice with us, and that's why sometimes when people come to my community and it's like, oh, you know what, it's too expensive. Compared to, I ask them, okay, it's expensive compared to what? Now, the structure in which we help people is to put them in a Ray working environment. You're being assigned to a project, a Scrum group with about 10 people to practice. Take a project, break it down. You're meeting, you're doing your daily stand-up, you're doing all the events. Right. Now, we are also meeting as a group to look at people can demo together and all of that. They can learn from each other. So in average, we are meeting almost about 5 to 6 times in a week. And which is why it closes down the amount of time people are spending just wasting time from interview to another. For most people in our community, unless we give you a validation that you're good to go, we don't allow you to go for interview because you go waste your time. We take time, we interview you, we make sure that you're ready. And that builds also up your confidence. There is nobody that leave my community and go into the job market and go, they don't understand what to do. No, they are always at the top. They're not afraid of day one. They're not afraid of being embarrassed. Most often, when most of them get in, they are recommending them to higher position. Why? Because they invested the time to do what is needed, which is what many people out there don't want to do, right? And which is also the reason why we don't just let people into our program. For those who have reached out to me, I always tell you, look, we don't bargain. It's not about money. It's about the value you're getting. And most often for people that are in my community, you will agree with me that what we deliver, it's above what you pay. We teach you leadership. We teach you how to plan your day. We give you template on how to become better. Even when you get the job, we still work with you until when you are pushing ahead. And for those who are in my community, we are offering others training that help you to secure your job. We're offering registering engineer training, and everyone within the community get a discount because you are willing to learn. So phase one, certification. Phase two, do the practice. If you have not yet been in a community where they are practicing and you know how to run Scrum event, you're part of a Scrum group, we definitely have an open enrollment for 2 days. Today's 27, 28. 2 days open enrollment with a very good discount. For 2 days, 2 days only. 2 days only, 27, 28. And for those who want to practice, you're in the market, things are not going, you want to practice, send a text to this number. I want to take advantage of the 2 days window for open enrollment, and we're going to tell you exactly what to do. And I always, when I do my videos, I always make a disclaimer. Don't come watch this video in March. This is February 2023. Don't come watch it in March, May, and then you come tell me, oh, I watch a video and this is what you were saying. This only apply for the next 2 days, right? Wednesday, I think it's going to be the 1st of March. We are doing another video, and that's going to be a whole new content. Now, that's the second phase. Now, the third phase of you getting a Scrum Master job is when you actually get the offer. When you get the offer, it's time for you to do your onboarding, background check, and all of that. Many people go there, they don't understand what to do, and because of that, some people have had offers, but they don't validate their background check. Why? Because they don't know what to do. They don't know what they should say and what not to say. So they put in information that actually contradict them. We also make sure that we work with you and make sure that you don't lose that opportunity. And then transition you into our community of practice where we are meeting, we are practicing, and we are making sure that you are not making any mistake. Why? Because we're pushing you to grow. We've spoken about 3 different phases. If you need a Scrum Master job, number 1, you go through the certification. Number 2, you go through the practice. You practice until you know exactly what to do. You're ready for the market. Most of our community members, when they finish their practice session, they don't need 2, 3 interviews to pick a job. But if you've been taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 interviews and you're not doing yourself some good. One thing I tell everyone is that when personal development, when you investing on yourself, in yourself become expensive, like, oh, this is expensive, paying money to learn what is going to help you tomorrow, then you're making a very wrong choice. It doesn't matter if it's $10,000. Now you want to pay $10,000. I'm not saying it's $10,000, by far less than what. And I always tell people, one of the reasons why a lot of people are finding it challenges, are finding it very difficult to break through the Scrum market, is because it's too cheap. Trust me, in less than 2 years, you are going to need a bachelor or a master's to get into the Scrum field. So I always tell people, this is an opportunity for you to learn. Do everything it takes to get there. Right. And then we create this opportunity to help you, not because we need your money. We definitely don't need your money, but because we want to offer you an opportunity where you can find the value and be able to move faster. Right. So it's very important that you're doing the needful to get to where you need to get to. So this was for those who are in the job market and finding it difficult, and those who want to start. This is exactly what you need to start. All right. You realize that from the first to the start, I did not talk about a 6-figure income. Scrum is a 6-figure income, but the reason many people are finding it very difficult to go through is because they are believing that it's a 6-figure income, and they're rushing in without understanding that they need to do the job to get the 6-figure income. Yeah, it's a 6-figure income. And secondly, Scrum is not just a cheap job, right? You might be working from home, but it's a leadership job. Just imagine, I want to give you a very typical scenario, right? Just imagine someone very close to you wake up and tell you, you know what, you definitely don't know what you're doing. I don't even know why I got married to you. Okay, that's a worst case scenario. What are you going to think? That is mentally draining. For people who are not personally developed, they can get into what's that word? They can get into depression. Right? These are some of the words that don't exist in my vocabulary. Why? Because they are not prepared for that. It's the same thing you face at work. You get into work and not knowing what to do, and you are in front of a team expecting you to do something and you cannot do it. So it's very important that you do the needful. Don't go embarrass yourself. Check out the links below. You are definitely going to see how to be part of our community for your own good, not for my good, for your own good. Right? And definitely, if this video was important, share to somebody. Some of your friends need to hear this. Right? They need to hear when someone talks to them without telling them, oh, you can do it. Oh, we're going to help you. Get into my community. Trust me. This is by privilege. Getting into my community is for your own benefit. Is to help you stand out. Is to help you be prepared. Right? We've taken time to build structure, to build coaches, to get opportunity where people who are working can have the opportunity to tell you what to show you how to go in. Definitely understand that this information was not for everybody, for those who want to make it, for those who are tired of doing what they are doing in their own way and definitely want to create a difference. And if that information is for you, reach out and we are open to help you. If you are in the Scrum field and you're looking for a job and you're not SAFe certified, be part of our next SAFe certification training. For those who enrolled always before, within the first week, we're having it on the 17th. For those who always enroll before, at least 2 weeks before time, there's always a special discount for them. I'll see you in our next video.